Hello and welcome to GT Races. Today's video I will start with telling a small story what happened to me and my wife on Thursday last week. We were taking a drive down to the biggest city near me and everything was going very smoothly, until we had a fairly long uphill road and I was going to pass a big truck or lorry or something like that. I can't remember now. And so it was no crazy speeds. I was going up around maybe 120 kilometers per hour when I go past him. And then suddenly my engine made like a misfiring or something like that, because it felt like the car was revving up, not crazy much, and then it just stopped and then it continued. And in that stop, my whole dashboard lit up like it was Christmas. I had beep, 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 and fault codes like flashing in my eyes, and I had a little bit of panic. This video today is going to be about fault codes, failure codes, and maybe what can we do about it? Can we find what the problem is, or can we not find what the problem is, and we need to take in a mechanic? At this moment, there is three things that is wrong with my dashboard when I start the car. First of all, I want to say my car is running. I can drive my car. It's a little bit uneven in the idling, but that is all. I can drive it fine. But it's not fun to drive when you have, your failure codes. When it happened on Thursday, the first thing I saw, my tank was 1/4 full. And as soon as it started flashing, that went straight down to 0. And of course, I have the sign of you're on the reserve, you have no more fuel. But I was still running, and I knew I had 1/4 of gasoline in the car. My first, in a microsecond, my brain said, "Oh my God, there's a hole somewhere, and we're like sprouting out gasoline all over the highway." The second thing I saw, 1 microsecond after I saw the fuel meter going down, was of course the VDC system failure. You all recognize it. This is when I look all around the internet, everyone with an Alfa say we have problem with the VDC system failure, and that means that is the anti-spin system, I think it is. And of course, so that doesn't work anymore. I've tried braking. I have brakes, so that's not a problem, but I don't know if I have anti-spin, because when I push the anti-spin button, nothing happens, of course. And of course, the third warning sign, the fault failure sign that comes up, is of course the long motor control system failure. And I don't know, that is probably a code that says you have problem with the VDC or stuff like that. So I don't know what that means. If that is like a general warning, you have something wrong with the car, look it up. So I've been checking a little bit now what I can do to fix this, to find the problems. And as I understand, it can be a multitude of different things. All the way from my brakes have sensors, and one of those, I have been taking off and on decks a lot. Have I damaged a sensor? That could trigger the VDC. With the problem with the fuel meter that is on 0, that could be all the way from here, that we have a problem in the dashboard, all the way the wiring has been damaged in some way, or some problem, or all the way in the tank, the floater, does that work? The electricity to the whole sensor in the floater, can that be a problem? And I even heard someone said that if you have a little bit if one of the tires have a little bit of less of air, the VDC can start because of that. And for me, that sounds like crazy. So I mean, if one of the tires is a little bit bad, the anti-spin just dies. I don't know. So, and I've read there's a tons more things that can cause these problems. But we need to start somewhere. So let's start with me actually starting the car, and I will turn the camera and show you how it looks and what happens. Okay? I think we are ready. Let's start the engine now. And you see 0, and then motor control system, VDC system failure, and I have no, I never petrol in my tank. But the engine is working, but, I don't know if you can see it, it is a little bit uneven on the idling. I don't like that. So we can have a problem. I'm thinking, if I have a bad spark plug or a bad ignition coil, could this cause this failure? I don't know. But I will show you something interesting. I think I have fuel, because I know I have fuel. I know I still have a quarter tank, 1/4 of a tank. Let's look at this. I will turn up the key. Look, see now. So now we only have the electricity. We don't start the engine. And as you can see, my fuel meter is working. I have 1/4 of petrol, or gasoline, or benzene, or whatever you want to call it. So that means, this means I have no problem really with the meter, and I don't have a problem with the floater even. I think that is not the problem. I think the problem is the VDC system that has a failure, maybe, and that is breaking everything, or a fuse. I have read about some sort of tricks how to release this problem, and I read somewhere that one way to get rid of the VDC failure is to push the brake down hard before you start the engine, and that will release something magically and the VDC will go away. Let's try that first. So I'm now pushing down the brake, and we are starting the car, and no, that did not help to push down the brake. Okay, so then we cross that one. The next thing we will try now is see the tire pressure in all tires and have them equally amount of bar of air pressure in them, and see if that will fix it. Okay. Let's now put every one of these at 2.5 bars. I think that is probably quite normal to have. So everyone in 2.5 bars, then we drive a little bit and see what happens. This will make a lot of noise, so you will not hear me now. I would not say it was a huge problem with the tire pressure. The right side was a little bit lower than the left side, but we're talking about the difference, 0.2 bars difference on the left side compared to the right side. I don't think it, but we take the car now, we start it up, and then we take a small test drive and brakes a little bit and swirls with the car, swirls, I don't know what you call it, you know, go back, forth, slalom. We do some slalom with the car and see what happens. I don't know, but the car was a little bit with the throttling. It was a little bit hesitate. I can't say that word, hesitate. It hesitated. Almost like when I pushed down the throttle for just 1/2 a second, it was a little bit slow on the throttle response. Interesting. But that has nothing to do with tire pressure. That has to do something with the engine, with the ignition, or the throttle body. Could be something there too. Of course, nothing become better just because I put in some air pressure in the tires. I don't believe that. But someone said it online, I had to test it. Okay, 2 more things we can test. Go through the fuses and see if someone has burned. Or we can do a ECU reset. I've seen online how to do that. It takes that about time. But looking through the fuses takes more time, because then I have to be focused. I'm not very focused and I'm very lazy today. So let's do a ECU reset. The first step I need to do is to take off the minus of the battery, just lift it off for 45 minutes. I don't know if it's a magic number in 45, but let's say in 1 hour, and then I will come back. So now I just go out, lift it off, and when I turn on the camera again, it has gone 1 hour. See you soon. Very soon, we are at 45 minutes, and when that happened, I will start the car. I will not touch the throttle at all. I will just start the car and let it go on idle for 15 minutes. Then I will turn off the car, wait 10 minutes, and then I can turn it off again and then rev it and drive it. And hopefully all the problems will be gone. What is the odds that all the problems will be gone? I don't know. Let's say 75% that the problem will still be there. That is the worst test. If this doesn't work, then I will have to tear up the fuses. The minus is back on the battery, so now we have electricity again, and the ventilation system and gone through all that kind of crap. So now we started without throttle. Just started. Of course, we have VDC system failure and motor control system failure, and we have no gas meter, of course. Let's start with the fuses, I think. As usual, we don't have a conclusion right now. I just took the car out for a spin. I did the ECU reset, 45 minutes with minus off, then put it back, then idling 15 minutes without touching the throttle at all, and then cool it off for 10 minutes. Cool it off, I don't know, just turn off the key for 10 minutes, and start again and go out and rev it. And I revved it. And well, it's a small rocket. Actually, when you get up to rev, it goes very fast. It's really lovely to. It's growling and just. But the idle is uneven. It's an uneven idling. I don't have more time today now, but tomorrow we look at the fuses and we take out and look at the spark plugs, and we look at the coils, if they have some problem with those, and maybe throttle body, maybe. Well, yeah, I think that is the kit that we do tomorrow, because this will be a part 2, because now this is too long. So if you have an idea what to do when you have all these faulty codes, failure codes, please help me. Until then, have a very good day and goodbye.